Is that making sense? So, as far as the global financial market is concerned, you are dealing with a real-time market where the big players are also involved, and they're also coming in as a young player. But I'm not talking about player like football. No, I'm talking about the global market. When I say that, maybe there are some people here who are gamblers of the forex, of betting. I don't know, things of that sort. Forex market is not betting. This thing is not betting, neither is it gambling. Gambling requires just luck. It requires luck, hopes, okay, but not actual facts. You don't know if that guy Messi will score with the left leg or the head or his chest. You see? But you see, when you come to the global market, we can easily anticipate how the behaviors of the buyers and sellers were to be able to perceive the market movement. The market never forget the previous history. Is that making sense? Market never forgets the previous history. So you can easily assess the behaviors of these traders to perceive the direction at which we are going to go. And this direction is recorded on the charts in form of candlesticks, in form of line chart, or in form of bar chart. That behavior of the buyers and sellers is recorded in the market, is a statistic. The behavior has been studied and it's a statistic of how these people behave. It is just like, let me give you a good example. You see, years back, no one valued land, okay? Years back, no one valued land. A piece of land was worthless. A piece of land was worthless. How did we start valuing land? Okay, when people started buying or rather started selling their land, maybe they were started having issues. For instance, for me, maybe I have a certain loan. People never knew that they could use land as a leverage in certain things. So someone could own a land, maybe it's an ancestral land or it's just their land, and now they had problems. You see, when the economy grows, problems come in. Now this person has a problem and he doesn't have anything. Then the person say, how about I give all the piece of my land? Now he will create a value. And back then, years back, it was very cheap. You could even buy a land at even $100. It was very cheap. No one was valuing it. So someone could say, no, let me sell my land, or let me lease my land for someone who wants to do farming. You understand? So when it became a trend of the land, someone be like, hey, so I can even sell my land, eh? So someone be like, me, I have a big land. Let me sell a portion of it and make some small money. So people could start selling like that. And then the greediness of selling came in, that everyone would want to start getting into the business of land. When you get in the business of land, now the land became scarce, because you see, the early people who used to sell land, they were selling it cheap. And when the land became scarce, the value of that land started appreciating. It started becoming very expensive. Is that making sense? You see? And that is why sometimes you find, even within the city, because of the development, developers also started buying land. Now it's no longer an individual, the way I can buy a land from Abdul. Now I become a developer, and that means that I have a company. Now I start buying land from the villages, and then I build a beautiful real estate there, and then I rent them out. Are you seeing? So now I'm creating a demand. When you create a demand, is that you've bought a land, someone just want a house, they don't want a land. Someone be like, me, I just want a ready developed house. So the developers will now buy land, and then they develop the house, and then they sell you the house. So now they've put a portion of the price that they bought the land, and plus the price of what they've used to develop the house. Are we seeing the way the value of something was created? And then if you look at the chart of how the land appreciated, we could see, if you are to record the statistics, every one of us, we know statistics. If you are to record a statistic of something, you'll realize, you could easily tell back 2 years, 20 years, maybe 2020, maybe 2001. 2001, the value of the land is different as the way it is 2025. So if you are to check the statistics, you might see we had something like this going down. Sometimes maybe people started, maybe taking a loan, a mortgage loan. I don't know if no, I don't know if you guys have heard of. Maybe I think you know about mortgage loan. People started taking developers develop houses, and then they get a mortgage loan. Someone buying a house on a loan. That is what a mortgage loan is. If they don't pay the loan, the bank takes back the house. You understand? So then the value of the thing started happening like this. So let's say, for instance, we had to measure the way the housing or the land was appreciating. People never valued land earlier on, but some people started creating a demand by selling the land. The banks also came in. When the banks buys a property. Not even that. Let me make it in a simple way. Remember this, now we have the bank coming in institutions. Let's say, for instance, you took a loan from the bank. Then you choose to use your land as a leverage. Are you saying the bank is going to come and take your land? When the bank takes your land, they can choose to sell your land or develop your land to rent it to someone who wants it on a loan. That is the statistics now. So you could see the value of the land appreciating and depreciating like that. Like right now, if you see, the value of land has appreciated, that it has now become expensive on cities. It is very expensive for you to get a land on the cities. Is that making sense? But now when you come to what you call a mortgage loan, there's no longer land for people to buy. Now people have already developed those lands. They have houses for people to rent or sell. Is that making sense? So now, when the value of something has appreciated up like that, it has created what you call a demand. But now here is where the problem comes in. People are in the business of making money. So the banks now decide to use your money that you save at the bank to invest in building or developing properties. When the banks develop properties, they are under the insinuation that someone will come and take a mortgage loan. And that is because of the low interest rate that has been set by your bank or your commercial bank. Is that your central bank or your governor of your country, the bank of governor, the governor of your bank in your country says a low interest. When the governor says a low interest, now business people choose to now go and do what? They want to get this land, they want to get these properties as mortgage. When I say mortgage, do you understand when I say mortgage, Bright? Mortgage loan. Okay? This is the house that you're given, and then you are told to even pay it in 30 years. You see? But the interest, you'll keep on incurring it. So now when the low interest rate was set, people could go and now buy these properties. No, they take the properties. Sometimes even the banks could not do due diligence. They could give anyone mortgage loan. But now here's the problem. When everyone was taking mortgage loan, you see, the thing was the land appreciated up. The value of the thing went up. You took a loan, the interest kept on going up. And now, when the bank didn't do what you call a due diligence of their clients, you'll realize that some of these clients were not able to pay the mortgage loan. So they gave everyone, including the homeless, everyone was given a land, everyone, no, not a land, house. Everyone was given a house, but now some people are not able to pay off this loan. Then what is going to happen? The bank will have to repossess the land, the houses. Now, when the bank repossesses the houses, it means some people are going to go homeless. Is that making sense? And remember, the bank has to find someone to sell this house, to. But now the problem is that many people, even the broke people, took the houses. So there is no one to buy these houses anymore. So what is going to happen? You who is saving your money at the bank, you still need your money. The bank also have to make money from the houses. Are you seeing now where the conflict is going to come in? You start losing hope on the bank when the bank starts setting limits of your withdrawals. When the bank sets limits of your withdrawals, you now start questioning how comes now I cannot withdraw $2 million in one day? I can only withdraw some few thousands. Are you seeing that? When that panic happens, you start complaining, another client starts complaining to the bank. When many people complain to the bank, then the bank crashes down. Is that making sense? When the bank crashes down, remember, people are going to go homeless. Some people have lost their investment. Some people have lost their job at the bank. And that's what you call what? A depression. So you can easily record that by saying, oh, this time the peak was up and then the Great Depression happened like that. You see? When the Great Depression happened, maybe the market started recovering, the land rate started recovering a little bit, just like that. That is what usually happens even when you come to the market. So you can easily record the statistic. You can say during 2020, there was a Great Depression. The bank were not able to pay up the people, the people. The people who also took loan were not able to pay off. So some of the bank went to close. Have you realized some banks usually close? Have you seen that? I don't know if you've seen that in your country. What do you usually think make the bank closes? Things like that. If they do in proper investments. And that can also be recorded, just like what we're having on the market. You see, there were some times where the players were buying land, it went up, and then someone is like, this land is very expensive. Oh, I don't think I can keep on. I can't buy land at this value now. Now that this land has gone up, like maybe it has gone to almost 20 million, just 10, maybe 100 by 100 going at 20 million. Someone will be like, I don't think this thing will go further than this. Let me sell this land at 20 million. No one is going to buy it beyond 25 million. So you start, the value of the thing start appreciating down. Someone will be like, no, 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 I can't buy it at 20 million. Right now, the value has gone down. Me, I only need it at 10 million, at 5 million. Before you realize it, the value of the thing has also collapsed again. So that is because of the two people, the buyers and the sellers. The same psychology of what I've given you as the land. Are we following? Let me just first of all get until where we are right now. Are we following traders, the beginners? Are we understanding anything? Beginners, till where I've reached. Are we understanding what I'm talking about? Or who has already gone to the village? Who is floating? Who is floating? Please, I need to know in the chat box. Are we okay? Dollar, are we okay? Dollar? Are we understanding what I'm talking about? Are we understanding? Okay, Obripong, thank you very much. So, thank you very much. Okay. So as I am talking about the beginners, I want you to understand the way what you are dealing with and how it comes to be. The same way I've given you a little bit of statistics on how land appreciates and depreciates, the same way you choose to even become a businessman or selling mangoes, and then you go and buy mangoes, a lot of mangoes, and sell them at a cheaper price if there's so many people who are selling the same mango, or at a reduced price like this. So let's say, for instance, Obripong or me, I'm in the business of selling mangoes. Okay, I'm a mango trader. So I choose to buy mangoes in at a wholesale price, and then I go to sell it on my market. So sometimes there will be a season of the mangoes where there's so everyone is selling mangoes. When everyone is selling mangoes, that means I cannot come and impose a higher price. I will at least come and impose a price that will make me competitive, meaning people can come and also buy from me. Is that making sense? But now the season starts changing. The seasons of the mango start changing where there's no longer mangoes. Okay. So now I can even choose to increase my mangoes price. There are two ways where I can change the price of my mangoes. One, when there is high surplus of the mango, I can never come and increase the price of my mango, because if I increase, that means I'll have to eat those mangoes with my family. They start going bad, and I start selling it at a throwaway price. Is that making sense? So I'd rather use a price that is competitive. So I can come and say, I bought mangoes and I'm selling it. So the value of the mangoes were going up based on the price. And now, because the season of the mangoes was very competitive, the value of the mango will decrease. You see? Remember, you are in the business of the mangoes. So you are the one who is selling the mangoes. And when you're selling the mangoes, there is someone who is buying the mangoes from you. For this person to buy the mangoes from you, he has to agree with the price that you are setting. Remember that concept. He has to agree with the price that you're setting. So now, because there's so many players, the price reduces. Even you have to reduce your price. And let's say, for instance, now there is a high peak where there is a demand of the mangoes. You can choose to increase the price. It has gone up. So you can even say, January, on February, I've made good price because the value of my mangoes went up. So I made good money on February. And then when close to end of February, People now, maybe now people are no longer loving mangoes. People are already tired of mangoes. So you now have to choose to come in with ideas of packaging, or rather, people now are coming with different ideas of packaging. Someone is no longer coming to buy your mangoes just like the way you show them the mango. Someone wants you to package it. Online business came in. When online business came in, it means this person can even sell mangoes to someone who is not close. Are you understanding? So the way technology advances is the way you also, as a trader, you have to advance. So because you didn't advance on time, people are now no longer buying your mango. But mango price is still going up unless you come up with an idea that will make your mango go up. So now you realize, okay, I can start doing packaging. When you start packaging, people even outside the country start buying your mangoes. You understanding that? Then there's a competition of the prices. So now you're already up there, but now you see the prices it's ranging. Then you come up with an idea that makes you, maybe you start selling to international clients. Then the peak, you start making good money up. Maybe Trump comes with sanctions. Trump says, I'm going to impose tariffs on mangoes imported in my country. When Trump says that, maybe you are part of the people who are going to be affected. Now the thing is going to again do what? You no longer cannot sell any longer because Trump has come with tariff. When Trump came with tariff, that means your value of your mangoes has also gone down again. You have to re-strategize. If you don't re-strategize, you go to the village and maybe become a shoe shiner. You see, because now you did not re-strategize. You've gone to the village. You've lost everything. Is that making sense? So the way we have recorded the way mango was behaving is the same way the value. Abdul, you're laughing. Is the same way the value of the currencies will be. Is that making sense? So the way we can be able to record how something has been happening is the same way we can record the value of the currencies. I hope you've gotten that concept. Now let's come to the currency world. I've talked about the buying and the selling of the currencies. Okay. So whenever I want to record the value of a currency, I have to compare it with something else or even gold. So suppose I have Euro USD, beginners, Euro and USD. Suppose I have Euro USD, this is Europe and United States. So I want to see how Euro is performing against United States. So this Euro is just one single Euro, one single Euro, 1 euro like this, just one. So you want to see how 1 euro is doing against the USD. That's what this means when you're trading. So when you have a chart like this, traders, the same concept I gave you with the land is the same concept I gave you with the mangoes is now the same concept you're dealing with on the currencies. So now on the currencies, you will see a chart. This chart is like the same mangoes, is like the same land. Now it is the same euro. Not USD, but that euro, the one of the first currency. So this chart represents the euro. And the value of the euro is represented by the dollar. The appreciation of the euro is represented by the dollar. So sometimes you see the euro was at maybe $5. I'm just saying an example, not the actual price, maybe $5. Sometimes the euro went up to almost $10, just single 1 euro. Is that making sense? So we can easily record the performance of the euro based on the behaviors of the buyers and the sellers. And that is what we call technical analysis. Is that making sense? That's what we call technical analysis. Just a minute. That's what we call. No, it's not there. Yeah. Yes. That's what we call technical analysis. I hope you're getting that wonderful patterns. That's what we call technical analysis. And then we have fundamental analysis where I talked about Trump. So we have technical analysis. Technical analysis. Then we have fundamental analysis, and we have sentimental analysis. So beginners, I've talked to you, I've actually talked about the buying is when you expect something to go up, selling is when you expect something to go down. Now, in this business, we're doing it online, and there's so many things you can buy. You can buy, no, so many things you can trade. You can trade currencies, you can trade commodities, cryptocurrencies, synthetics, indexes, and so on and so forth. Is that making sense? So one thing that is going to guide you is the technical analysis. Technical analysis, just like the way I gave you the data of the mangoes, the data of the land, is what the technical analysis is all about. Okay? Trying to use the previous history to see the behaviors of these buyers and sellers. Like example here, I can say in the year 2001, the market was here. It never came there again. It started going down. And then this market came to this area where it was back in the year 2000, and maybe in the year 1995. Example, year 19. So I can say the market has come back to the previous high, which was during the 1995. During 1995. Is that making sense? And then the market kept on ranging and maybe went up, broke that, and went down all the way again to a different value price. Before realizing now we are in 2026, and the thing has gone up again to where it was once in the year 2001. That's why you say the market has tested the record high, the previous record high, which was during the 2001. Is that making sense? So you are using the technical analysis capability to realize that during in 2001, sellers came in strong power and pushed the price down. Okay? So now we are anticipating that these sellers can also come in because of this high zone over here. You see, it never came to that zone before. Now you say these sellers will again push this price low. Is that making sense? Is going to push this price low. And let's say, for instance, it was pushed, it went low, but it did not go all throughout down. Then you realize, this market is again coming back to the same zone. So this way you say, I think these sellers want to be pushed out. When you're having that idea, it's not only you is having that idea. Many other buyers are also having the same idea. Many other people who are trading, they'll be like, it's like we are going to break that previous high. Is that making sense? So do you know what people are going to do? People are going to be buying. The moment people are buying, what are they doing? They are creating that momentum. When they create the momentum, then we are breaking that high. We break the high like that. Is that making sense? That's when we've seen that the market has created a new record high. And then the people will be like, this market, I don't think is going to create more high. But now remember, you, because you're a retailer, you will now be thinking that it's going to create more high. It is still going to go up. But now the banks have realized that the previous high has already been broken. So people are going to be induced to keep on buying up more. They are forgetting that this market will want to do what? Will want to come and test the previous high that the market broke. So if you didn't know that, you will be using what you call FOMO. FOMO. And you're buying late. You're buying when people already bought. When you're using FOMO, you are being liquidated. Now the high institutional traders are using you to close their running position. Is that making sense? So this is the concept of the market on the technical aspect, the technical analysis. That's where strategy comes in, higher highs comes in, zones comes in, support and the resistance comes in, market structure, patterns, so, trend line comes in, order block, smart money concept. You see, all those Elliott waves, supply and demand, thank you, all those things comes in. Are we getting the concept? So you are trading the active market where you can easily learn the behaviors of the buyers and the sellers. So do not be part of the statistics, but rather let your neighbor be the statistics. Is that making sense? Do not be the statistics, but let your neighbor be the statistics. So always ask yourself, how will a beginner or how will a retailer think about this price? Not a beginner, but how will a retail trader think about this price? Then you will be able to see yourself maintain consistency. I hope you're understanding. I'm actually even talking about the psychology part for the beginners. So we've seen the record high being broken. I've given you an example. The same aspect of what you're seeing I'm drawing here is the same behavior you'll see in the market. Sawa sawa. Then I'm coming to the fundamental. Fundamentals is the uncontrollables. Fundamental is now beyond your control. Okay. This is now where, unless you are insider trader, I hope you've heard about insider trader. Insider traders are the ones like the people who in the government, they already know what the president will say. So they are insider traders. Okay. So when you talk about the fundamentals, these are things that also cannot be controlled. Part of the fundamentals is a natural calamity. Natural calamity is what is Mother Nature. That one is beyond you. When a bomb is thrown, that is now conflict between nations and nation. Is that making sense? That is fundamental. Bomb has been thrown, and they bombed our oil refinery. If your oil refinery has been bombed, and maybe that was your natural reserve, then that means you've lost money with the global players in oil. You see? So you either leverage on taxation or you either leverage on other things. Is that making sense? When Trump comes and say he's going to impose high tariff, that means you can no longer export something from your country to United States unless you are okay with the new tariffs. Is that making sense, wonderful patrons? So that's how they create new prices. Prices are created based on demand of something. Prices are created based on tariffs. Prices are created based on supply. That's why we have what we call a trade war between China and United States. Is that making sense, wonderful patrons? And then when you come to the sentimental, is when you've realized the behavior of the market. You have realized behavior of the buyers and sellers. So you can now choose to not be induced, but rather look at the best price to buy. As example, you notice this. Now I'm talking about the sentimental. Beginners, please, I hope you're following. Now I'm talking about the sentimentals for the beginners. So suppose you have the same chart. Then you realize, okay, the market has been moving like this. Up, down, broke that, went up again, came here. Sometimes it came here this time and it came here, it left a tail like that and it went up like that. And then it started going down. So with the sentimental aspect, you already know what this tells you, what this area tells you. Okay? With the sentimental aspect, you know this is not an area where you will find it to come here and then it sells down. It can sell down small so that it can lie to some people that we are still selling the way it was doing previously. But you and me, we know this thing is looking forward to do what? To go up like that. That is where the sentimental comes in because of your familiarity with how the market was behaving. Are we clear, wonderful patrons? That is what that means. Beginners, are we clear? I hope I've spoken something to the beginners. Now, when you come to the market, let me open the chart. Let me open the charts. I said on the charts you can trade any pair. So the one that comes to the first column is where your eye is on. Euro, USD. USD. We have JPY, GBP, USD. USD, JPY. JPY. We have ZAO, USD. We have ZAJ. We have ZAJ, USD. We have sometimes people trade bounce. We have fall and things of that sort. So whenever you're trading the currencies, the one that comes on the first column is called the base currency. The one that comes on the second column is called the quoted currency. So the chart represent the base currency. The chart, the chart, this chart, these lines over here represent the base currency. And the value of that thing is documented by the quoted currency. Are we clear? The chart represents the base currency, and the value of that base currency is recorded by the quoted currency. So I want to see how the base currency is doing against the quoted currency. Is that making sense? So this is because USD is the second one. So this is USD here. USD here. Is that making sense? That's USD there. So this is Euro movement. Euro movement. Euro movement. Are we clear, wonderful patrons? Beginners, I hope you've gotten the concept there. Let me open the chat now. Beginners, do you have any question? I hope I've talked a lot for the beginners, and this was very powerful if we took it serious. Beginners, are we here? Are we here, beginners? Even what I'm talking about, there is something here we are seeing. You can see what the market is doing with these rejections here. What is this telling you, traders, beginners? What do you think this is now telling you? What do you think this is telling you, beginners? What is it telling you? Let me see those who paid attention. What is that telling you? Are we going to see a good buy on GBP USD or a crazy sell? Are we going to see a good buy? Just like a little bit of what I drew in that thing there. Someone is saying a sell. Another one. A sell. Okay, then I'll have to talk more about it again. Someone missed something there. I've talked about sudden rejection with what I drew. Is that area strong for that strong? Is that strong area for a good sell or what? How many times have that area been touched? And you see, it is with wicks, it is with tails. Someone is saying a strong sell. Okay, another one. Okay, I see everyone is selling, only macaroni. Everyone is everyone is selling. Ronald also is selling. I thought Ronald was the one who is not going to sell. If Ronald is selling, then I'm losing hope. Yeah. Even Turamuhika is also selling. Only macaroni. Okay. 7-3. Are you buying just because I've mentioned that everyone is selling? Yeah. Huh? There is something that someone has missed. It shows a weak zone, a weak support zone or a weak resistance zone. Obripong is a weak zone. So those people who are selling, Ronald, if you are selling, you are, I don't want to say that Ronald will go to the village, but let me be truthful to you. If you sell this one saying that it's a strong sell, the village might be calling you Ronald. Okay? That resistance is losing its strength. Thank you very much, Aubrey. That resistance is losing its strength. Let me delete this thing that I drew over here. For those who know what I drew, this is called a Fibonacci retracement, and it has been really helpful for us. And I also drew a trend line. Remember, I drew a beautiful trend line, and we can see what the market has been doing within this zone. We can see what the market has been doing within this zone over here. It's been living these crazy weeks over there. That is making that area become vulnerable. That's what that means. So as you are looking forward to sell, it may be a short sell that will bring forth a crazy buy. This area, just like what our brother Aubrey has said, is losing its strength. So should the market come back here in the future, we're just looking forward for it to break this trend and go up. That's what that area means. So this zone is weak. This zone is weak. That's what that means, wonderful patrons. Aubrey, the person, Turia Muhika. Turia Muhika, as you are selling, then you have to ask yourself, I'm selling till where? That is what I mean, Turia Muhika. Because you can choose to sell and then you realize that you don't know where your target is with that sell. The market comes back to that zone and then it buys all throughout. That means that area is already weak. At the back of your mind, you know, should the market come back to this zone, is weak. It is weak. So your sales has to be appropriate on certain zones. So for instance, so let's say if I choose to sell, Aubrey, if I choose to sell, then what am I looking at? I can be looking at this zone over here. An example, we see we had a fair value gap that was left within this area, an example. So Aubrey, I can say something like this. Maybe the price can be pushed down here, then it leaves a tail for us to break this zone and keep on going up like that. That's what I mean. Okay, wonderful patterns. That's what I mean there. So as yes, you choose to sell, you ask yourself, is it a strong sell or a short-term sell? That's what I mean there. Just like what Aubrey Ponga said, that's a weak resistance. So we don't expect that area to be strong to give us more crazy sells. No, it is a short sell. So wonderful patrons. Is that clear? I hope our Ronald, I hope you got it now, Ronald. Thank you very much. Aubrey Hills is losing power. Ronald, have you gotten it now? Smart FX, have you gotten it now? Duncan Nahale, have you gotten it? Thank you very much to Muhika. Thank you very much. So as I've mentioned, okay, Ronald, I do something here for you. Let me come back. Let me go back there again. I do something here and mention this. Let me bring it here again, like this. I was drawing something like a certain chart. And then I said, even based on the sentimental aspect, we can easily tell when someone is about to be induced. That's what I mean. The market was going up like that, created a zone. This zone was a point of return. The market went down. It came to the same zone like that. This time when it came to this zone, it even hit it with a big tail. Or rather, it's been leaving tails on those areas. So at the back of your mind, you know that this area is weak. Is weak. That's what I mean. So it is not an area where it will maintain the price to give us more sale. No. So should the price come back here, I expect it to keep on going up like that. So this sale that is happening here is just a short-term sell. Is a short-term sell because this area is already weak. It is not a strong zone to give us crazy sell. Okay. Exactly, wonderful pattern. So it's a short-term sell that is going to spark in what? That big rally that we're looking forward for. That's what I mean. For the sake of the person who said 733, you said I should repeat that. We'll talk more about that when we reach there. So now, beginners, do we have any question? The beginners? Beginners, do you have any question? I've really given you a crazy insight, beginners. This is very valuable. We only have 30 minutes. Beginners, any question? Oh, thank you very much to Turia Mohika. You have a very powerful name. Any questions for a beginner? Because I only have 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes, you can use it for the advanced people too. Okay, beginners don't have any question. Beginners, now we are okay, right? So for the beginners, just a disclaimer. Now we've learned about buying and selling. The next thing we will learn is now how to buy and how to sell based on the knowledge of the candlesticks, which I will teach you next time. Thank you very much, Smart Effects. Now I need a question from other people now. And questions, Chikondi, what do you think will be a high probability setup? Okay. Whenever you talk about a high probability setups, it has to be guided by the confluence of the certain zone you're looking at. Chikondi, when I talk about a confluence, I mean you're not using one instrument to affirm your bias. Okay? Chikondi, you are not using one instrument to affirm your bias. You want to use a different instruments different things giving you same confluence. For instance, so let's say Chikondi, you are at the market, right? So Chikondi, this is your market. And then you say, this market has been going up. It came to this zone, okay? And then, let's say, for instance, it did this and broke this zone over here. It broke that zone with a big candle. And then the market came back to this zone. Now the market was maintained up and it came again to that same zone. So Chikondi, then you ask yourself, what knowledge do I have about this area? You will say, I see this is a strong support or a strong resistance. So I'm looking forward for a good buy. Is that making sense? So one confluence based on the knowledge of the strong support you say is a buy. Okay. One confluence is a buy, one with the knowledge of the support. The other one, you've said, oh, the reversal candlestick pattern within this same area suggests that it's a reversal candlestick pattern, meaning it's a buy. So you see, if you use a reversal candlestick pattern, it's also suggesting a buy. Now, example, maybe you come here and realize because you know the knowledge of the maybe Ichimoku Kinko Hayo, then you say, my Tekken Sen is above my Kijun Sen. I see a crossover within this area. So that crossover also is suggesting a buy. And maybe for the last one, you talk about just maybe for the, you don't have to have different confluences. No. Even just three of them being giving you one valuable information. That's a strong, high probability setup. Then you say here, maybe you're using your knowledge of the moving averages. Okay? Then your candlestick closes above your moving average. Okay? Then you say, okay, this area is very, very good for my buy. Is that making sense, wonderful patrons? So that itself is going to suggest that different things I used strong support is suggesting a buy. I've used the reversal candlestick pattern, is already telling me there's a good buy. I've also used my Ichimoku Kinko Hayo. I've seen that there is a crossover between the Kijun Sen and the Tekken Sen. I've also used my moving average, and it has also suggested the same. So this is a strong buy, very powerful buy. So. Someone is also asking, within how many days or months do you have to do the chart analysis to focus a buy or a sell? I love this very good question from Rejoice Pal. So we have what you call a time frame in the market, and we have top-down analysis in the market. So Rejoice, now you're determining of you to execute. Remember, there is a general bias of the market. Who are the big movers? They are the buyers. Okay, now you Rejoice, you come in here, and then you're like, am I going to buy? Am I going to sell? Now you've already seen the bigger picture. The bigger picture tells you the bigger picture is there's more buyers. So Rejoice, you just can't come here, you just can't come to the market and buy because there's more buyers. No, you want to find the proper zone to buy. Sometimes because on the higher time frame suggested a strong buy, then you come to the lower time frame and try to exploit it. Rejoice. It's not like just buying. No, you can even exploit a sell that is preparing you for a good buy. That is what we mean by top-down analysis. Rejoice. So you don't have to adhere to go to even all like 1 year check. Yes, you can do a top-down analysis. Rejoice. Even start on the higher time frame like monthly. Then you say on the higher time frame, I see there's bigger picture. There's bigger picture here. So let me show you this, Rejoice. Let me just give you an example, Rejoice. So Rejoice, suppose we are trading. And then on the monthly time frame, monthly, not daily, monthly or even weekly, you see this on weekly time frame. I see this candle. And then I saw this candle like this. This market is going down, Rejoice, and then you see this candle. Rejoice, what does this tell you when you see this candle? What does that tell you, Rejoice? I want you to answer that so that I can help you based on this, your lovely question. When you see that candle, what does that tell you? You saw that on the monthly time frame. What does that tell you, Rejoice? Any other person to help Rejoice so that you can save time? Chikondi is a reversal candlestick. Thank you very much, Chikondi. It's a reversal candlestick pattern. Now, Chikondi, when you see that pattern reversal, what must you do, Chikondi? What must you do when you see it? It is a reversal candle, yes. Now, what are you going to do? Chikondi 733, what are you going to do? Please, let's be quick because of time. You're going to buy. I am waiting. Smart Effects is going to wait. Someone is going to buy. So 733 is going to buy. Now, 733, you're not wrong to buy, but this is a monthly time frame. Suppose you have $10, 733. If you buy there with $10, what do you expect, 733? May, this is now what I was looking for. Wait for confirmation on the lower time frame. Someone is saying quiz. I can a fair value gap be okay? I'll come to your question. Let me proceed with May. May, wait for a confirmation. Now you see where May has come with something here very important. May has said he's going to wait. I don't know if May, I think is a lady. She's going to wait for a confirmation. Remember, May, you saw this reversal candlestick on a monthly. So that then you mean May, next coming month, you will not trade. Because you're waiting for a confirmation. You see, for May, that means next month, this month, he is not going to trade. If May is to wait for a confirmation, and this is a monthly time frame, that means May will not trade for the next following month. But that is not a good thing to do, May. What will May do? At the back of May's mind, he will be like, okay, I'm now waiting for a confirmation. I know yes is a good buy, but I'm waiting for a confirmation. Yes, thank you very much, Ronald. So now May will go to the lower time frame. Okay? May will go to the lower time frame so that he can now, she can now exploit this confirmation that she is waiting for. Is that making sense? So May will choose to go to a weekly time frame. How many candles of a weekly time frame makes a monthly time frame? How many weekly candles makes a monthly time frame? May? How many weekly candles, Chikondi? How many weekly? Thank you very much, Abdul. 4. So now May will go to the 4-hour time frame, to the weekly time frame to exploit and see what was the behavior of the 4-hour candles before the current one. So let's say, suppose May saw this candle that she said she saw, and she's waiting for this candle to close so that she can buy. But this is monthly. May cannot wait for the entire month not to eat. Unless May she's praying and fasting for the full 1 month, then that's when we can say she doesn't want to eat. But because May wants to eat, she will go to the lower time frame, like weekly time frame, so that she can now exploit the 4-hour candles. Is that making sense? So what May will do, she will do this. You see this previous candle, this previous daily candle, monthly candle. This previous monthly candle has four weekly candles. So there is maybe one candle like this. There might be another candle like this. And then there is another candle like this. So then the 4th one is the one that is like this. So what does that mean? On the 4-hour candle, maybe it was a bullish harami, which had its confirmation, and it also had its buy. So may have missed that one, and that's why this candle closed. Just an example. That's why this candle closed. Now we know there is still more buys. What is May going to do? Now she's going to deal with this single weekly candle now. Remember, she knows there's still more buys here, but she's going to deal with this single candle. Now she'll go to even 4-hour time frame. Is that making sense? When she goes to the 4-hour time frame, she'll realize that this candle might have created a trend. Now she can come here and use her knowledge of the trend. Maybe this market wants to sell down to the trend. As it is selling down to the trend, it means the following candle on the weekly time frame, it is selling down like this with a tail. That's why when she comes on the 4-hour time frame, she's actually seeing, or even daily time frame, she's seeing this sell, a retracement. So May can exploit the sell on the retracement as the market is coming down to touch our trend line. Is that making sense? But suppose May only had, yes, Abdul. Suppose May only had $10. She cannot come and trade on the weekly time frame. But she now wants to exploit this sell that is visible on the daily time frame. What will May do? She will now go to a 15 minutes time frame because of her capital to try to exploit this sale now. Remember, May, you are not forgetting the big buy. You're not forgetting that one. No. You just want to save yourself because of your capital. That's why you're going to the lower time frame. So that you don't just buy the way our brother 733, he bought with $10 and now he has gone to the village. You see? He bought with $5, now he has gone to the village. Let me just use as an example 733. I'm not saying you're going to go to the village. I want you to just understand what happens whenever people are trading, okay? So, because you saw the bigger time frame, you saw a signal, you don't just go and jump in on that signal on the higher time frame. You have to think about your capital. Will your capital manage the movement of the higher time frame? If it will manage, then yes, you can buy and hold. But if it will not manage, then go to the lower time frame and try to exploit the best price before you buy. Is that making sense? 733. Are we now understanding it? 733, are we understanding it? Yes, Lee. 733 went to the village. 733, are we understanding it? Thank you very much. So 733, Kikondi, you will go to the lower time frame. Are we seeing? We are not forgetting the bigger picture. The bigger picture, yes, we know it's a buy. But now when you go to the lower time frame, that's why sometimes you see someone usually goes to higher time frame, then they say, I'm seeing a buy here. I'm going to the lower time frame, I'm seeing a sell. I'm going to another time frame, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, what should I do? That is because this person is not understanding how to blend in the time frames. When you blend in the time frame, it means this. Higher time frame has set the path for you. You know it's a strong buy. When you go to the lower time frame, you're not just going to buy, you are looking for the best place to buy. But as you're looking for the best place to buy, you can exploit the sell that will now prepare you for the good buy. Just like the way I've brought the knowledge of the trend line here. And then I say, you now see the market is on the resistance and you know it's looking forward to sell to come to the trend line. Because now I'll have to buy on the trend line. You see, when this market sells, that means on the weekly time frame, it has created a tail. That's what it means. It is selling down with the body, but the moment it's sold down till the trend line, it starts buying. It means it is leaving a tail. That's what I mean there. And when it's leaving a tail, it means it is buying, and eventually it will keep on buying up. And that's why you see on the lower time frame, this 4-hour time frame, it has sold down to the trend line. Now you know we always follow the trend. So I can buy here and hold it because the trend is a strong trend. Is that making sense? But now I said someone else might not be having a good money to sell here as they're targeting the trend line. Now this person has realized that we are on a resistance. The person can come to the 15 minutes time frame, okay, and exploit the zone there because this resistance might be a supply zone on a 15 minutes time frame. So it's a strong zone for you. So I can exploit it within that range. I'm selling on the resistance as I'm targeting a nearest support or a nearest resistance. Remember, as you're targeting the nearest support with a sell, this thing is still selling as it's coming to a strong support zone, which in other words, on the 4-hour time frame, it is just the intersection of the trend line. That means this sell is a retracement. And this sell being a retracement is a retracement on the 4-hour time frame. Is that making sense? As it is a retracement of the 4-hour time frame, it is preparing you for the buy that is going to happen on the weekly time frame. And when you buy it very well on the weekly time frame, you are holding this market as it is buying then it is still creating that confirmation candle on the monthly time frame. Before you realize it, the confirmation candle has already closed. Okay, the monthly forward time frame, the monthly candle confirmation has closed. So this is now where May comes in. Are you seeing May the way we exploited that confirmation candle? Now that it has already closed, you now know there's still more buys. So what does that tell you? You still know that we still have more buys as far as the that market is concerned. And that's why you usually say you hear someone saying that the all of this week or the all of this month we've been buying for a very long time. That is how you gauge the time frames. Chikondi, are we clear? May, I hope you're not going to be the fasting and praying now, prayers and fasting there. May, are we clear? May 733, have we gotten it? Have we gotten it? Thank you very much, 733. Thank you very much, Chikondi. So I hope we've learned something there. So do we have any other question? We only have less than 12 minutes. Thank you very much, May. We only have less than 12 minutes. I hope I've given you a good example in terms of the top analysis. Let me see if there's any other question. Okay, there was a question from Safaricom. Quiz 1. Can a fair value gap be an entry point? Quiz 2. Can a double bottom also be an entry point? This is a very good question. Yes, Safaricom. Fair value gap by itself is a strategy, and we exploit strategy based on the knowledge we have or we know about that strategy. So, someone may not be knowing what our brother Safaricom has said. Safaricom, I want you from next time, please be using your name. Give us your name or something that you can use. Eh? We don't want people to think that we're training Safaricom here. The Safaricom, the network itself. Okay. So now let's come to our brother's question about the fair value gap. Fair value gap, we've talked about this thing and we've also mentioned it. In a simple way for anyone who is curious, this is what you need or you have to see on the fair value gap. Let me just make it simple for you. Fair value gaps, you're dealing with 3 candles. Fair value gap, you're dealing with 3 candles. I want to make it simple for you. You are dealing with 3 candles. The first candle, the one in the middle, and the third candle. Okay? So, suppose this is the first candle. Maybe it had a tail like that. And this is the second candle. And this is the third candle. That's what I mean. And maybe it had a tail like this. So this is now what I mean by the fair value gap. You see this first candle and the third candle. If their tails, this tail and this tail, do not come to contact to each other, if they're not into contact with each other, what I mean by that is this tail coming all throughout to this one here. If it does not do that, then this is what we call a fair value gap. That gap, this is a fair value gap. That is where the fair value gap is. So for the sake of the person who would ask the question, Safaricom, yes, we trade the fair value gap. And now you don't force it to sell to the fair value gap. Don't force it. Look for the right entry that will sell as it comes to the fair value gap. So what I mean by this is this. This market was going up, right? Like this. And then maybe this is where we saw it was a strong resistance that now suggests a good sell. So as I'm selling here, my target is a fair value gap. That's my take profit. And when the market already hits a take profit, you see, the good thing with the fair value gap is that you can eat it twice. You can eat the market selling to the fair value gap and also the market reversing after the fair value gap or retracing. When the market fills the fair value gap, it will do this. So I can also chew the buy from here. Is that making sense? So yes, Safaricom, you can do that. Then another question was, can a double bottom also be an entry? Yes, is a structure. Double bottom, it means the previous bottom has been respected and is the same as the future bottom. So yes, double bottom, you enter here with a buy. Safaricom, I hope I've answered you. We only have 10 minutes and my voice is also dying. Now, I hope you've learned something there. Another question? Oh, very much welcome, Rejoice. Very much welcome. Thank you very much. Oh, your name is Sakaja. Okay, now I'll call you Sakaja. I don't want to call you Safaricom every now and then. So, Fosh Lerich, you're saying sometimes you say buy at 1 minute time frame. When you go to the another time frame, the market is on sale. What do you analyze this? So you see, unless you are trading and you're also taking Panadol, then you can trade on 1 minute. 1 minute time frame is a time frame that you cannot rely on. 1 minute time frame is a scalper time frame, not even a scalper time frame, because I do scalp, but I scalp on the 5 minutes time frame. So you should never take a 1 minute time frame trend line very seriously. You should never take a 1 minute time frame support and the resistance very seriously, unless you just want to be there for a short period of time, just like a gambler. Then you can do that. So, Forge, 1 minute time frame is not a strong one. Do you know what I mean by that, Forge? You see, let's say even if you're scalping, 5 minutes carries 1 minute. No, how can I put it? 5 minutes is bigger than 1 minute, right? For 5 minutes candle to close, it requires 1 minute, 5 candles of 1 minute. Is that making sense? But you see, the 5 minutes candle can have like a small tail. That means 1 minute candle sold when the tail was left and then bought. Is that making sense? Can you understand what I'm saying, Lori? So this 5 minutes candle carries 1 minute like this. It can carry one buy candle for 1 minute. Then it might have carried a sell candle for 1 minute and then reversal here and then buy. Like that. So I have one, two, three, four. And then now a tail has been left and then eventually it closed like this. Example. So that 5 minutes candle has carried 5 minutes candles of 1 minute. Sorry, it has carried 5 candles of 1 minute. Is that making sense? So this candle for 1 minute, 5 minutes, it's when the market is buying, it's not like it's just buying like this and it's not even retracing down. Sometimes it can buy up like that. It can even choose to leave like a small tail and then it fills the tail and then it leaves the tail and eventually it closes with a body. That's how the market behaves. And that can be recorded on the lower time frame, just like I'm giving an example of 5 minutes and even 1 minute. The same applies when you go into the higher time frame. All of these are recorded in that manner. So, brother, the person who asked the question, I hope I've answered you there. What about using indicators? Thank you very much. The person who asked this question, Turea Muhika. Turea Muhika, yes, you can use an indicator. But now my prime question to you is this. How well do you understand the indicator you want to use? There's so many. There's a MACD. There's a moving average. Okay? There's Ichimoku Kinko. There's a Bollinger Band. There is a MACD. There is a volume indicator. There's an RSI. There is a pivot point. Okay? There is fractals. There are so many. But now, yes, you can use these things to Remuhika, but I want you to learn them. Learn them the way we teach you. If you just use it on the basic aspects, you will still go to the village to Remuhika. Okay? You cannot just use an indicator alone to preside a market movement. An indicator also requires, the best indicator is understanding the candlesticks. That is the best indicator, by the way. So should you want to apply other ones, it's when you want to put your confluence to be strong, just like the way I taught you guys regarding Ichimoku Kinko Hayo. And I'd also give you an example of how I can use an Ichimoku Kinko Hayo together with the reversal candlestick pattern and also understanding the trend line. Is that making sense, Turia Muhika? So yes, you can use an indicator. You can sure use an indicator, Turia Muhika. Okay. Thank you very much, Turia Muhika. Hey, the time has really moved. We only have 5 minutes. I don't think. Let me just answer the questions. We may not be doing. We may not do an analysis. My voice has already disappeared, though. My voice has disappeared. Let me just see any question that requires me to talk. Any question? Traders, I hope you've learned a lot. Please allow me to just adjourn it here. The voice has. I need to catch my breath now. I've been speaking for 2 hours, but I hope you've learned a lot. I hope this has been fruitful to you. Thank you very much, all that have joined us today. I want you guys to. Oh, Abdul, the voice is running away. I need to take some breath. The voice is running. I don't want to collapse. I don't want to go to the village. Eh? So thank you very much, everyone. I think I'll share my analysis on that you've asked on the groups. I'll share that one with the groups. Okay, I'll share it with you guys on the groups. Don't make me collapse and I'm the one to end the Zoom. Eh? Okay, Bright. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you've learned a lot. Please always join this meeting. Please always make sure that you join us and always ask as many questions as possible. For the beginners, I hope you've also learned a lot. Thank you very much, Zikomo. Uh, have yourself a beautiful, wonderful morning, afternoon, and evening. Let me end it here as I take a breath. I will join you guys again on the groups. I'll share the analysis for. Let me just check the pair again. I'll share the analysis for you on USD JPY and analysis on which other pair was it? I think it's only that. Okay, I'll share analysis on USD JPY. Okay, bye bye everyone. Yes, I've recorded the meeting. It will also be shared with you guys. Bye bye everyone. Cheers.